Welcome to Restaurants and Real Estate. We're going to give you a guided tour of Austin, one restaurant and one home at a time. Okay, we are here at Brasas Peruvanas, and this is in Round Rock, right near the square here. So my wife and I, Vivian, are actually going to Peru in March. We thought perfect time to try out a little Peruvian food, some Peruvian drink, and showcase this neat little restaurant here in downtown Round Rock.
2 pieces sours and iced tea and 2 waters. Sour. Your first time?
You're gonna say to somebody, hey, this is what, like traditionally, like this is what grandma makes at home, this is what I like to eat on a Sunday, something like that. What would you suggest?
Well, I could say that all of our food is authentic Peruvian food, but if I have to pick the 3 best sellers, one of them is the ceviche. This one right here is the ceviche with the fish only, and this one has fish and seafood like calamari, shrimp, scallops, mussels, octopus. Both of them have 2 types of Peruvian corn and slices of sweet potato. It's like a marinated fish, lime juice. Also, one of the favorites is this one right here, the lomo saltado and the Peruvian pollo a la brasa.
I say you pick something for me. I don't care what it is.
Do you like seafood?
I love everything.
Yeah. Well, this one right here, the seafood fried rice, that's my favorite. It's really, really good.
Okay. Cheers, congratulations on your newest investment.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
To your newest investment.
Absolutely. First investment in Austin, and I'm hoping it's the first of many. And I just love Austin because I see Austin as the tech place, the music place, the numerous activities place. And coming from Idaho, I was so amazed by how many things there are in Austin. And so I'm hoping to make Austin the future home and continue acquiring properties and being a part of Austin.
Awesome.
What makes you confident in Austin's market?
I think it's always the people. I think when people embrace change and when people embrace new things, whether it is technology companies or music, and I think Austin also, the greatest thing I love about Austin is it's still, despite all the things about unaffordability, I think there are a lot of things to do in Austin, houses to acquire, restaurants to enjoy, concerts to go to that are still accessible, and I love that about Austin.
Everybody wants to invest here in Austin, but the issue is, or what they claim is that, well, you can't cash flow a property in Austin. Now, I think that a lot of people have proven you can. So what's your strategy moving forward with this property just purchased here in Northeast Austin, and how do you plan on making it a cash flowing property?
Yeah, I think that's a good observation. I would say that typically in Austin and surroundings, long-term rent typically does not work. You're probably at a 0.5% rule in most of Austin, which basically means that if your monthly payments are about $3,000, you're probably going to get $1,500 to $2,000 of rent. And I'm from Idaho, and there I have a few midterm rentals. I came to Austin, I met Vivian and James, and I was enamored by their midterm rental strategy. And the plan is to use a mixed hybrid midterm rental strategy with a little bit of STR mixed in to bump up occupancies and increase the amount of cash that we can make from the property. And at the same time, you're also serving the community by allowing people to move to Austin, explore Austin, and also help people who might be temporarily out of a house because of a insurance emergency, and that helps us and the society at the same time.
So, all right, you have a plan, and you had to do some due diligence, clearly, to make sure that this would work out for you. What did you do to underwrite the property and put some numbers together that said, hey, this will work. We can make this work for a midterm rental.
Yeah. So I think I would look at it as 2 things. One is the bigger picture market, and one is the specific home in the specific area market. And of course, we talked about Austin and why it's such a good place to be. that is the big picture, right? I think if the population of the area is growing, if the jobs are growing, if people are wanting to come here, either temporarily or long term, then that puts the greater market with its great business regulations, with its tax-friendly status and landlord-friendly status. It helps, right? Then coming to the specific property, what I liked about the property is it was in the midst of the tech hub. It was close to all the tech areas. It was close to big employers like Dell Children's. It was very close to an amazing shopping complex called The Domain. It is very close to most of the areas connected by freeways. So location-wise, I felt that it had a lot of potential. And on top of that, when you look at the numbers, we looked at a combination of price labs with James and Vivian's help to see what kind of rents it can command. We looked at the competition in the area. We looked at what people were doing on Airbnb. We were looking at what people were charging. We also have some understanding of what the rents are from websites like Rentometer and so on. And you have to always have a conservative assumptions about what you think your occupancy will be, what you think your rate at which you can get customers in. I think when we plugged in all those numbers, there was a very high chance that we would exceed the monthly payment. And after that, it's up to you as an A-class operator, and you have to be an A-class operator to deliver the best value to consumers. And I think after that, things should generally take care of themselves.
Awesome. And I think that she has something over there for us. So yeah, let's bring that over. Beautiful. I love it.
This is a Peruvian hot sauce, and this one is more like a mild sauce. This is the ají de pollería and ají rocoto.
Okay.
Which one was the spicier one you said?
This one right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to give this a try.
All right, go ahead.
Should I pour these sauces on here or eat this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
The sauces are pretty strong, actually. Very flavorful. I expected the dish to be actually hot, but it's actually a cold dish.
I would say like the closest explanation would be a potato salad.
Yeah.
Like an American, like it's not American potato salad. It's a Peruvian potato salad. It's very delicious, and the red sauce here got a little kick to it. Pretty good.
Yes, it does.
Pretty good. So far, the I'm gonna call it like a chicken and potato salad. It almost kind of tastes like an Americanish potato salad with some chicken in it. Cold dish, very good, very tasty, especially with the sauces. They have two different types of sauces. The red one's a little spicier. Really, really tasty. The yuca with this, I don't know how to even explain this sauce. It's kind of a mayonnaise, a little mustard in there, a little spice. Very tasty. Very fried yuca, super good. Now we're getting ready to jump into the entrees. First up here is ceviche. A little different than like your traditional like Mexican ceviche you'd see. So we got shrimp, we got some calamari, we have some fish. There's also, it looks like some hominy, some roasted corn, and some sweet potato in there, and even a couple of mussels on the side. So looking forward to trying this. There we go. Start off with the fish. Very nice. Nice citrus flavor to it. A little bit of spice. Sweet, citrusy, a little bit of spice. Very tender. The hominy is a different touch. I rarely eat hominy, but it's delicious. That's how you can tell when it's done right. With the squid, it's done correctly. It's nice and soft and tender. It's not chewy at all. Perfect.
I love the tangy and the light peppery spicy texture. I just love the fish. Actually, I think this is probably the best ceviche that I've ever had. It's really well done.
Up next is some, I call it a Peruvian fried rice. You can see it's got green onion, shrimp, calamari. Looks like there's some egg in there. Do have some mussels. So let's give this a try and see how it is. Once again, the calamari is perfectly cooked, tender, delicious. It's what I say, it's like a traditional seafood fried rice, kind of, right? There's a pretty standard fried rice, I would say, with some seafood in it. So nothing crazy, just a good, solid, delicious dish.
What do you say to someone
Yeah.
that's like, oh, the interest rates are too high right now? I mean, there's a lot of people that are standing on the sidelines, even investors and home buyers.
I'll say two things. One, I'll just give the example of when I bought my first two properties. When I bought my first two properties, I think it was a horrible choice at that time. Because at that time, you don't know what the market is. You don't know where it's going to go. You kind of know what the interest rates are, but if things don't cash flow, you're still asking yourself the same questions, right? Why am I not I'm not cash flowing as good as I should. Should I buy this house or should I not buy this house, right? I think the biggest mistake that people make is not buy. You should always do the math right, look at the potential right, and then it's a long haul game. It's not a quick and easy profit that you're gonna make in 1 year. It's gonna be the right decision for your 5 years down, 10 years down, and for your kids, right? That's how I look at it. So if I look at my first two properties, I should not have probably bought those properties if I underwrote them according to some strict mathematical conditions, because they were cash flowing with too little margin for error. But things happen, right? COVID happens, interest rates fall, rents increase. So I find myself, moving on to the second part of the answer, that's the same situation we're in right now. We're not cash flowing right now. Interest rates are where they are, which makes the cash flow very hard. I think at this point you have to look at the big picture, right? Where is the market going? And yes, there are some worst case scenarios like AI and what are people going to do in the worst case when everybody's out of jobs. But even then, I've become an optimist. I think even AI is going to unleash productivity like we've never seen before. And yes, there will be pain in the short term. Maybe in the 5 to 10 year time, there may be still pain. But in the long term, I think it'll work out, right? So short answer, you're not cash flowing now. And at the time when you buy your best house at the best interest rate, it probably won't cash flow as well as you should, right? There isn't because if there is, people will arbitrage that. The moment there is an opportunity in the market, investors will flock in and arbitrage that opportunity to the point where the opportunity doesn't exist, right? It's just like the stock market. It's like how people will bid the prices of homes to a point where things won't cash flow, right? And look at 2021. In my opinion, in 2021, it was very scary to buy houses, even though the interest rates were like 2%, 2.5%. People have just come out of 50% increases in prices from the year before, and you are not able to command the rent that you think you will command. And yes, people bought primary homes quite confidently, but investment properties were still a tough one to buy, in my opinion, right? We bought probably 2 properties in 2021. But it wasn't an easy choice then too, right? So I think it's a long haul game. That's the short answer, in my opinion.
When you're going through the buying process with James,
Yeah,
you were looking at distressed properties versus fully renovated properties.
yeah,
Walk me through the decision to make an offer on the property you did.
yeah. Actually, I was very, very interested in buying a distressed property. Like really, really interested. I think we spread the net very wide. The problem with distressed properties is that you have to put some time and effort and dollars into it. And then you have to ask yourself the question, is the time, effort, and dollars worth it? And I'm still open to both strategies. It's just that when the opportunity presents itself, do you feel like you can do better by going to a sub-market offer on a heavily distressed property, and are you able to wing it all together? The biggest advantage, in my opinion, with a distressed property is that if you can theoretically buy it for a deep enough discount, you could probably burr it a lot more easier and get your cash out. With what's happening right now is that we found ourselves with a property where most of the upgrades were practically for free. It was a very well done house, had a reasonably modern and trendy look, and with things being in a good place, I thought that it was worth paying the money to acquire the property without having to deal with the stress of rehab.
So walk me through the numbers.
Yeah.
What was it listed at originally? What did you negotiate down to? Any seller consent, any creative ways to get more money out of it or decrease price?
Yeah, so I think the property originally, when we found the property was at 440K on the market. We looked at all the comps, and actually the property was very well priced based on James's comp analysis. And we ultimately, and Austin has been in a -6% trend every year for the last few years after the COVID boom. And so we wanted to protect ourselves from any potential corrections in the next year or two. And based on that, we made an offer at 405K. Again, the 440K price was actually a very well done price based on the comps. And the sellers countered at and indicated that they would accept at 422K. And we decided to go ahead and accept the price at 422K. We found a few items in inspection, some siding repairs that we had to do that were critical, that should have been done. And so we finally agreed to a price of 420K to acquire the property. Now, as we were buying the house, we also found out that the sellers actually took really good care of the property. They actually tried to sell the property for 450K, and when the first buyer came along, they found some serious problems with the sewer. There was some bulge in the sewer, and that required them to spend multiple four-figure amounts to fix that issue.
I think it was around $27,000.
Yeah, it's about $27,000, right? Yep. And they also spent some more money on pest control. And we both felt that if they were taking this good care of a property that they were selling, and it was also obvious from the way the property was presented itself that they did take good care of the property. So there were some heavy repairs that were done on the property recently, and so we got a pretty good confidence that 420 was a good price to acquire the property. We have about 6-7% margin of error. And from a fairly valued price, which should give us enough protection for about a year or so. Mm-hmm. And after that, it's all operations, how you operate and how you use that property to get more money.
What did the property appraise for? You didn't do an appraisal?
We didn't do an appraisal.
Oh, you did a cash offer?
Cash offer, yeah. So my strategy is put it into service, establish the cash flow, see if I can maybe DSCR the loan back so we can get some cash out. So then we can apply that cash to the next purchase, essentially.
I'm stuffed. This Peruvian food was delicious. Everything we had was great. I'd say the hit was the ceviche. It's absolutely amazing. Everything was perfectly tender, perfectly cooked. Now that we're stuffed, now we're going to try to drag ourselves out of here and go look at some real estate. So now that our bellies are full and we had that delicious food, we're going to check out a house that one of my friends and investors just purchased here in Austin. Some people are worried about the interest rate, especially home buyers specifically right now. The interest rate's about 6.25 right now, which isn't bad, but who isn't turned off right now? That's investors. Investors see this as an opportunity, and let me show you why. Let's talk about buying investment properties, what this one is going to become. This is going to become a fully furnished MTR hybrid. And what I mean by hybrid is they'll use STR to fill in some gaps when the MTR is not rented out. And right now, I would say it's in your best interest if you're, even as an investor, not necessarily look at homes that are distressed, because right now with the price of homes, you're almost getting the upgrades for free. We looked at a lot of homes that were, let's say, in the $300,000 price range, but needed a full renovation. Needed paint, floors, cabinets, countertops, everything. But then you look at the $400,000 price range, almost the exact same house, and it's ready to go. So you can either buy a distressed home, put 80 to 100 in it, get it to this condition, or just buy it ready to go. The upside of that is there's no downtime, especially if you're going to get permits, go through all of the process of redoing all the plumbing, electrical, everything. You're going to be looking at potentially 6 months of downtime when you could be earning income. You buy a house that's ready to go, you can get this thing up and running in 2 or 3 weeks, at most, even a week if you're really savvy, and you're making income right off the bat. Why is this particular home a good investment property? Well, I'll tell you why. There's several reasons. Some of the top things that we look at are obviously location. So you want it to be in a good location that is close to things like this one is close to Dell, it's close to Apple, it is close to Domain, like not too far from downtown. Not in an HOA, that's a big one. Even if your current HOA does allow short-term or mid-term rental, they can always change the bylaws and then you're stuck with it. So never, ever, almost ever buy an HOA neighborhood. Another good reason that this house is a great candidate for a mid-term rental is has 4 bedrooms. If you look at the majority of homes in the Austin area, and it might be for any city, most of them are 3-bedroom. By having a 4-bedroom, you open up your possibilities. The other thing is, when you have a LVP type flooring, you always allow pets. It makes the cleanup easier, and anytime you allow pets, you eliminate almost half of your competition. There's so many people that are freaked out about pets, but guess what? Almost everybody in the United States owns a pet, so why would you not allow pets in your income-producing rental? Let's talk about 1-story versus 2-story. This particular home is a 1-story, and I suggest almost always, if you can, go with a 1-story for your investment for a rental. It's going to be an MTR, STR, or a combination thereof. The reason I say that, we have an aging population. My wife, who is the owner of Peru Homes, gets a lot of requests. A lot of our insurance housing booking. Somebody had an issue where they could no longer utilize their primary home and they have to stay in a midterm rental. A lot of cases, they don't want to be going up and down stairs. You'll never go wrong with a 1-story. A 2-story, aging population. If you have bedrooms upstairs, it just makes it more difficult for everybody. The resale value on a 1-story home is always going to be better than a 2-story home. Okay, let's talk about negotiation right now. So it's kind of fun right now. Buyers have all the power right now. There's so much inventory. We're able to not only negotiate the price, we're also negotiate things like appliances. So this particular home had pretty decent Samsung refrigerator, and then also the washer and dryer, which we're able to include in the price that we got. So it just makes it a lot easier to get this house up and running if you don't have to worry about buying appliances. You gotta buy the furniture, and we're ready to go. Let's take a quick tour through this property. So this is a 4-bedroom. The first bedroom can be utilized as a office or a bedroom. We're flexible whenever we have an MTR. Somebody wants 2 twin beds instead of a king or a queen, we'll make that change for them, especially if they're staying long term. It's a simple fix, and the idea is to get the booking. All right, going down the hallway here, we've got the garage to the left here. 1, 2 bedrooms. These are the second and third bedroom. So, centrally located washer and dryer, which is great for all the bedrooms. Second bath, which has a tub, which is great. Okay, so, having flipped, almost 40 homes here in Austin myself, being a contractor, and then also I own 9 doors in Austin as well, I always look for details. Also used to be an inspector as well. I look for small details that somebody may not notice when they're looking at a home. And one of those things is Schluter. So you can either do Schluter, which is this metal strip here. You can do a bullnose as well, but this has a nice finish. You'll go to a lot of homes, even a lot of new construction, and they just have the raw edge here of the tile. And you'll miss it easy, but this looks so much nicer. Same around the niche. You got Schluter. What they did here is this is not necessarily a bad idea. So this is the original cabinets. They did paint them. They're in good condition. Did paint them to update them a little bit. Now you'll see that this is, for today's standard, it's a little lower, right? Today's standard, we basically have our vanities about the same height as our kitchen. However, for a secondary bathroom that'll typically used by kiddos, this is fine, absolutely fine. And very nice size primary bedroom. Really nice size walk-in closet here. And a beautiful and very bright primary bathroom with separate toilet, which I like. And it does have a shower and a full-size tub. So, Walk-in shower is always a nice benefit, you know, especially for people that are elderly and, you know, it makes it hard to get into like a tub style shower. So if you have a walk-in shower, that's always great. If we have a 2-bedroom, you know, that doesn't have a tub in here, we typically will have a shower in the primary and a tub in the secondary for the kiddos. Whenever you're listing your Airbnb and you're looking at pictures, always make sure you get pictures of everything, including the walk-in shower. You know, get pictures of everything that your client may be looking for, and the walk-in shower is actually very important. All right, if you're new to Texas, one thing you might notice, and I was the same way when I first moved here because we're from the Midwest, was these textured walls. And I thought to myself, well, that's actually pretty cool. Like, that must be harder to do. Like, they really love their walls here and their texture. Quite the opposite. So the reason you do the textured walls, that hides imperfection. If you do a level 5 wall, it's gotta be perfect, otherwise it shows every imperfection. If you make the whole wall imperfect, you don't notice the imperfection. So it's cheaper, it's faster, it's easier, and that's why you see this in Texas in most houses. This is called knockdown. You'll see 2 different types of textures. This one's knockdown both on the ceiling and the wall, and the other one is called orange peel, and that's where they spray a smaller droplet and don't knock it down. This, they lay it on and then wait about 10 minutes, and they come with a large wide knife and do a knockdown. As an agent, former home inspector, general contractor, and flipper, there are some things that I can suggest that you look at when you're first looking, the initial walkthrough of a potential investment property. The big ticket items are roof, HVAC, and foundation. Those are the big things you need to look at. I can help you look, you know, take a look at the roof. Now, we're not going to tell if it's a brand new roof or how old it is from the ground, but you can typically get a good idea. You can look around the house and look for cracks and doors that won't shut, windows that won't open, look for foundation issues. And then we always look at the HVAC and the other mechanicals like the water heater. Have they been updated? Are they original? So try to bake in and figure out some of these costs before you even make an offer. I'm James Keller. For all your investment needs in Austin, Texas and surrounding areas, give me a call.